Dear students, welcome back to our channel Easy Explanation. In this tutorial, we will be learning about two important concepts of function in C programming language. They are call by value and call by reference. So let us learn the concept of call by value and call by reference by using the example program. So I'll write one example program to demonstrate the concept of call by value. So call by value dot C. So I will write a program that will have the function sum that will accept two integer and returns the integer result. So the program to understand the concept of call by value, the program will have a function with the following prototype, or this prototype int, sum, int and int. So the program that I will be writing now will have this prototype function. So let us declare one header file, define header file, then define one main function. Then here we'll declare two variable, a equals to 10, b equals to 20. Then I will have the function sum that will accept two variable as argument. Then once we call the function with two argument, we'll define a function called as a sum here, sum int x comma int y. Now int res, and you can write res equals to x plus y and return res. Since we are returning the integer result, the return type of the function sum will be what? Int. Since you are returning the result back to the main function, the main function should store it in another variable. Let us say the variable is result. Now the value returned by the function sum will be stored in the variable result. Let us print the value, printf /n %d plus %d equals to %d/n, and then we have a comma b comma result. When execute this function, execute this code, we'll get something like this: gcc call by value. So implicit declaration of the function sum is telling us, it means what? I forget to declare the prototype of the function. So we need to always need to declare the prototype. So what we'll do is just copy the heading of the definition, paste it here, and then remove all these variables. So just include the data type. So it will tell the compiler that this function sum is expecting two integer argument. Now if everything is in place, this function should, or this code should work now. /a.out. So you can see we got the values 10 plus 20 equals to 30. This is what we are trying to get here. So when you analyze the function call here at the line number 8, what we will see, the in function sum we have passed the value of a variable a and b. So in the function sum we have passed the value of variable a and b. So the function sum is said to be called as the call by value. So if a function accepts value of variables as argument, then such function is said to be called by value. So we are passing the actual values to the given function sum. So this we are calling this function sum with respect to the given values. So the function sum is said to be called by value. So all other function examples that I have discussed in the previous videos also was related to what? Call by value only. So this is very much simple definition. So in call by values, a function when called is passed the value of a variable, right? Since you are passing the value of a variable, this function sum is said to be called by value. So this is just the simple concept of call by value in C programming language. Now once you have understood the concept of call by value, we'll go into another concept called as a call by reference. So in order to understand the concept of call by reference, we have to first understand why call by reference is needed and what is the idea behind call by reference. Okay, so we'll understand this concept also by using the example program. So I'll create one example program called as swap.c. So the swap.c function should do what? It should swap the values of two variable. So swap function should swap the values of two variable. Okay, so we'll write hash include stdio.h it main, then we'll declare two variable int a equals to 10, b equals to 20, then print the values printf /n before swap a equals to %d /t, b equals to %d /n a comma b. What we are trying to do is we are just trying to print the original value of a and b. So once the printing is done, we will call the function swap that is supposed to swap the values of variable a and b. So again we'll call this function swap by values. Now when the function is called, the control will pass to the swap function. So we'll declare a swap function here, swap int x comma int y. So the value of a is copied into variable x and the value of b is copied into variable y. Now we already know the logic how to swap the values of variable. We declare the third variable called as a temp. So temp will temporarily hold the value of x and x will now have the values of y and y will store the value of temp. So this is the logic to swap the values of two variable. Now after the function swap is called, let us print the values after the swap. So after swap, now let us run this code and see what is the result. Now again you can see here, since this function is not returning anything, the return type of the swap function should be void swap. And one more thing, we should never forget to include the function declaration or function prototype. Okay, once the function prototype is declared, now we have the complete code here. Now let us compile the code and see do we get the expected result or not. gcc swap.c ./a.out. So you can see here the original value before swap was a equals to 10 and b equals to 20. After the swap function is called and swap operation is done, we are still getting the values a equals to 10 and b equals to 20. So this is not the result we are trying to get here. We are trying to swap the values, so we are expecting the output of a equals to 20 and b equals to 10, but we are getting the opposite result. So why this happens and how to solve this problem? So why this problem happens and how to solve this problem? So for that we have to understand the logic behind this program in detail here. So I'll create the memory image for the two program. Let us say in this program we have two function, main function and the swap function. So as I have discussed in the earlier videos also, in earlier videos of function in C programming language, so each function will have the separate memory image in the computer's memory, and in that memory image they will maintain their local variables, and the knowledge of the local variables is not known to another function. So the variable that is defined locally for the function will have the scope only within that function, right? So based on this concept, let's understand the logic, what goes behind, what happened here, so that we do not get the expected result. So let us create the memory image for the function main. Let us say this is the memory image for the function main, and another is the memory image for the function swap. Okay, This is the memory image of the function swap. In main function, I have declared two variable a and b, right? Variable declaration means it will reserve, suppose if it is integer variable, our compiler will reserve 2 byte of memory space. Let us say this bracket represents the memory allocated. So it is suppose 2 bytes of memory allocated. Now we know that each allocated memory will have some address allocated to it, or some address associated with it. Let us say the address of a is 1004, and another variable we have is b, and the address associated with variable b is suppose 1006. So we have assigned the value 10 to the variable a and values 20 to the variable b. Values 20 to the variable b. Now after that, after all this operation is done, after the line number 6 is completed, we print the value of a and b. Now we call the function swap ab. So when the function swap is called, the control will pass to the line number 11. In line number 11, swap function will create two local variables x and y. So here also the swap function will create two local variable x and y. When the variable is declared, memory will be allocated. Suppose for the integer it will be 2 byte of memory 2 byte of memory space. So 2 byte of memory space is allocated for variable x, and this memory location is associated with the address. Let us say the address is 10104x, and another variable we have is y, and the address associated with this variable is 1012 suppose. Now when the main function call the swap function with respect to ab, what happens is the value of a and the value of b will be assigned to variable x and variable y. Now what happens, these values will be assigned into, the value 10 will be assigned into x and the value 20 will be assigned into y. So we write here 10, and in this case we'll write here 20, right? Now you can see, now when the control passes to the line number 11, all the operations are being done, or all the swapping operations are done in the for the variable x and y. So when the swapping action is performed, we will have at the end x equals to 20 and y equals to 10. Now you can see the changes has been made, but to the local variable of swap function. The change is not reflected into the local variable of main function. So we got the result like this: a equals to 10, b equals to 20, a equals to 10, b equals to 20 after calling the swap function also. Because the changes is made locally to the swap function, the variable a and variable b of the main function still remain unaffected. Now how to solve this problem? How to solve this problem of swapping? So we can solve the problem of swapping by using the concept of call by reference. In call by reference, instead of directly referring the values of a variable, what we will do is we will refer to the address of the variable. Okay, so in call by reference, instead of referring or instead of passing the values, we will be passing what? The address of a variable. So instead of passing 10, we will be passing what? The address, which is 1004, and instead of passing 20, we will be passing the address, which is 1006. Now see, all these addresses 1004, 1006, 10010, 1012 belongs to the same address space, right? So this swap function also have the direct access to the address 1004, 1006. Similarly, the main function also have direct access to the address 1010 and 1012. Now how to deal with the address of variable in C programming language? Okay, how to deal with address of variable in C programming language? Now, to understand the concept of addresses in C programming language, we should have the knowledge of basic pointers. Okay, so for the call by reference, so to understand the concept of call by reference, we need to have basic understanding of pointer. To understand the concept of call by reference, we need to understand the basic concept of pointers. So now I will start a small tutorial on pointers. So again, let us learn the concept of pointer by using example program. Now first we have to understand how to manipulate the variables. What are the variables? What are the values? What are the variables? We have to understand this concept. So test underscore pointer dot c program to understand the concept of pointer in C programming. Okay, so hash include stdio.h int main. Let us say I have declared a variable a. Suppose if I tell the user printf enter a number, then we'll write a scanf function to read the values that has been entered by the user at the address of a. So you can see here there is one operator. There is one operator called as a ampersand. This is the operator called as what? Ampersand. This ampersand operator stands for address of. Okay, so this ampersand operator stands for address of. Okay, so when we will associate this ampersand operator with any variable, it will return what? The address of that variable. Okay, it will return what? The address of that variable. You can see here when you declare a variable, the memory reserved for that variable, and for that reserved memory location will have the address. So this address or this address or any of this address is returned by what? The operator ampersand. So if you want to get the address of any variable, you can use the operator ampersand. So ampersand stands for address of. So address of A. What is the address of A? In this case the address of A is 1004. In this case the address of B is 1006. So normally the operating system in which our program execute maintain the address of memory by using hexadecimal numbers. Now if you want to print the address of a given variable, you have to use this operator, ampersand operator. Now once the user enter the value of A, it will be stored where? At the address of A. Now let us print the values of A. Printf A equals to %d /n A. So obviously the variable A will print what? The values of variable A. Right? Now if you want to print the address of A, I will write here value of A. Here we'll write what is the address of A. So since address of A is hexadecimal number, you will be using the format string %p then /n. And how to get the address? We can get the address by using this operator ampersand. So address of is ampersand, and for which operator we want, for which variable we want to get the address? I want to get the address of variable A, so ampersand A. So it will tell the compiler get the address of variable A. So once the address of variable A is returned, it will be printed here by using format string %p. Now let us see what is the result we get here. GCC test underscore pointer dot c test dot slash error out. Enter a number. Let us say the number is 10. So you can see the value of A is now 10, and the address of variable I is what? This hexadecimal number. So this hexadecimal number is generated by the operating system. Okay, so these unique hexadecimal numbers are generated by the operating system for each and every variables. Okay, so let us understand the logic of this program also. So what happen is, when you declare any variable, something like int a, it will tell the compiler the int keyword, or the data type will tell the compiler to do what? First reserve. What is the data type? What is the space requirement for int? It is 2 byte or 4 byte. So depending upon your compiler, reserve 2 or 4 byte of memory space, 2 or 4 byte of memory space, then give the memory space name. In this case, the memory space is given name as a, and then, so if you write something like int a equals to 10, suppose if you write a equals to 10, it means what? In the location of a, assign the value 10. Okay, or if you will write something like, if you execute line number 8, it will tell the compiler that go to the address of a, and in the address of a store the value that we have read. So then store the value at location of a. In this way it works. So I'll give you the memory mapping of something this line or this instruction int a equals to 10. First, memory space will be reserved. Let us say the space is 2 byte or 4 byte. Whenever the memory space reserved, operating system assign address to that memory space. Let us say generated address is something like this. This is the generated address. Now, since the human being cannot, or generally we cannot remember this hexadecimal number, so what we will do is, we will associate this location with a variable name a. So now we can refer to this memory location, we can refer to this reserved memory location either by this address, but this address is very much difficult to remember, so the convenient way is by using the variable name. Now once this is done, then we have a equals to 10. After the memory space has been reserved, so at the address of a, store what? 10. Okay, so this is variable name. Now value at reserved space. Now this is nothing but location number or address of reserved space. Okay, so these are the things that you need to understand the concept of pointer. Okay, now I'll write one more example program to further elaborate the concept of pointers. Now I'll write create a file called as a pointer1.c again. So C program to demo the concept of pointer. Has include stdio.h int main. Now let us say I have declared one variable called as a with value 10. Right, now suppose I want to store the address of a into some another variable. Now address of a is given by ampersand a. Right, I want to store the address of a into another variable called as a b, suppose. So we can write something like this, b equals to a. So what we are trying to do here is, I am trying to assign the address of a into variable b. But the question here is, we cannot directly assign the address to another variable. So since this variable b is accepting the address of a, the variable b is not a normal variable. So the variable b is called as what? Pointer variable here. So in order to tell the compiler it is a pointer variable, we will use the indirection symbol or a star symbol with b. Now in C programming language, so anything that you use or any variable you use must be declared. Since you are using b, variable b, to store the address of a, we need to do what? We need to declare this variable b. But variable b is not a normal variable. It is not accepting the values. It is accepting what? The address. Since in variable b we are storing the address, the variable b is called as what? Pointer variable. So the definition of pointer variable here will be, here b is called pointer variable. So pointer variable always holds the address of another variable. In this case, we have declared a integer pointer variable b. So integer pointer variable b will hold the address of integer variable. So b is a integer variable, so integer pointer. So b is a integer pointer, so integer pointer will holds the address of integer variable. Like similar to the integer pointer, we can have floating point pointer as well as the character pointer. So here b is integer pointer, so b holds the address of integer variable. Okay, now let us print the address of a. What will happen now? Now printf /n address of a equals to %p/n. Then we can write something like this, right? Ampersand a. Ampersand stands for address of a. Now another way also we can print the address of a, something like this, /n address of a equals to again %p. Now see here in line number 9, I have assigned the address of a into variable b. So variable b should store what? Address of a. So if I'll do something like this, both the line 10 and 11 should print what? The address of a only. So see what will happen. I'll write the return 0 statement here. Return 0 gcc ./a dot out. Now you can see both are the same values. Now since b contain the address of a, we are getting the second result, and we are obviously printing the address of a in the first line. So you can compare the result and see. Address of a ampersand a give these values, and address of a, which here b, since b store the address of a, it is also displaying the same result as above. That is the reason why we are getting the same address values here. Now once we have able to store the address of any variable, now let us understand what are the things that we can achieve after that. First, let us understand the memory mapping of this code. Now for the line number 5, variable a is declared, so 2 byte or 4 byte of memory space will be reserved. We'll give that memory space a name called as a. In that space we'll store the value 10, and this memory space will have some address values. Let us say 1010. Now we have another pointer variable. B is nothing but a pointer variable. So pointer variable is of type integer. Since the pointer variable also stores some addresses, it also need to reserve some space. Let us say the compiler reserves some memory space for the pointer variable. Now once the memory space is reserved, again the address will be associated with that. Let us say the address space or the address number of the pointer variable b is 1012. Now we have something like this. Now see here, b is a special variable. It is called as what? Pointer variable, and pointer variable should only store what? Addresses. It does not store the values. So you can see in line number 9, in pointer variable b, we are storing the address of a. What is the address of a we have here? 1010. So 1010 here. Now you can see the variable a contains the values 10, while the variable b contains address of a, which is 1010. Since this variable b contains the address, the variable b is a special variable called as a pointer variable. Now once you have, I hope every one of you have understood the concept. Now if you are familiar with this concept, we can introduce one more term here. Similar to ampersand, there is another operator called as this star operator. So this star is called as indirection operator, as ampersand symbol stands for address of, star stands for value at address. Star stands for value at address. Now let us see, if I want to print the value of a, then we can print the value of a in number of a's. Now so see printf value of a equals to percentage d slash n. We can simply write a, or we can write this way as well, print slash n value of a equals to percentage d slash n. We can write something like star b. Now let us see, when you execute this code, what is the result we get. Okay, now you can see in both of the cases we are able to get the value of a as a 10. So what happens here? How we are able to print for both the cases the value of a equals to 10, or how this star b returns us the value of a, which is 10 here. Now for that we have to understand the meaning of this statement star b. So star b means value at address, right? Star means what? Star means value at address, and in b, what is the address we have stored there? In b we have the address of a, right? So value at address of a will be what? 10. So again understand the memory mapping for this, then it will be easier to understand. A, suppose 10, and its address is 1010. Then we have a b, which is a pointer variable. It is storing the address of a, and it is 1012. Now when you write the statement star b, it means star and then value at b, which is what is the value at b? We have 1010. So star is what operator? It is value at address operator. So value at address 1010 is what? The value at address 1010. So value at address 10 and 10 is what? 10. So that is the reason why we get the value 10 here. We get the value 10 here. Okay, or you can also print this result something like this, printf slash n value of a equals to percentage d slash n and then star ampersand a. It also returns similar to the these three lines. It also returns the value of a. So when I print this code, I will, for a while I will comment these lines. I can see all these three statements are printing the same results. Okay, so the thing that you need to understand here is 4 pointers point to remember pointer variable store the address of any other variable. So pointer variable always store the address of any other variable. So this is the thing, this is the point you need to remember all the time. So the declaration of pointer variable is something like, if you want to declare a integer variable, you can write int star p. If you want to declare character pointer, then you can write char star ptr. If you want to declare floating point pointer, then you can write star f ptr, something like this. Now in integer pointer can hold address of integer variable. Integer pointer can hold address of integer variable. Similarly, character pointer can hold the address of character variable, and floating point pointer can store the address of floating point variable. Now, once we have understood the concept of pointers, we will be using this concept to understand or to demonstrate the concept of call by reference. So since passing the values is not producing us the desired result, so we will be using what? We will pass the address now to a swap function. Now swap by ref dot c. Okay, swap function by call by reference has include stdio.h int main. I'll copy that code only. Okay, control C, control B. So this is the code that I copied from the previous code. Now since we have to use call by reference, so call by reference means what? Instead of passing the values to the calling function, to the call function, pass what? The addresses. So instead of passing the values, we'll pass what now? Addresses, address of A and address of B. Now one more thing that you need to understand is address is stored in which type of variable? Pointer variable. So these variables need to be declared as a pointer variable, int star x and int star y. It means what? X equals to ampersand A and y equals to ampersand B. So this is just a declaration. We declare a pointer variable like this, int star x and int star y. X holds the address of A and y holds the address of B. Now temp equals to star x equals to star y and star y equals to temp. Now since we are using call by reference, its declaration also need to be changed. We are changing the declaration. Now let us first print the output, then I will trace the code for you people. GCC swap dot slash a dot out. Now we are able to successfully swap the values of a and b. The initial values of a was 10, b equals to 20. Now after the swap, by calling by the reference, we have now the value of a equals to 20 and b equals to 10. Okay, now let's see how does this works. So most of you have confusion in like how the call by reference usually works. So I'll be using the same code, and let us understand the memory mapping of. First we have main function. Let us define the memory mapping for the main function now. A equals to 10, b equals to 20 means we will have two variable a. Let us say this is the address of a, and in a we will have the value 10. We will have another variable b. For b we have values 20. Okay, and let us say the address of variable b is 1012. Now we have another function swap also here. So let us create the memory mapping of swap. Now swap we have two variable x and y. In swap we have two variable x and y. So x and y are not normal variable. X and y are the pointer variables. So for x is an integer pointer. For x the memory will be allocated. Let us say the address space is 1030 for x, and for y let us say it is 1032. Now once we have the variable declaration done, so the x and y are the pointer variable. Pointer variable are supposed to store addresses. Now let us start from line number 6. When line number 6 is executed, the main memory will have this type of memory mapping, and when line number 8 is executed, it means what? We are calling the function swap by reference. We are passing the address of a and address of b. So when this function is called, the control will pass to line number 11. When the control will pass to line number 11, then x will hold the address of a. So what is the address of a? We have 1010, and y will hold the address of b. What is the address of b? We have 1012. Once we have this thing done, then the control is now in line number 11 or in the swap function. So in the swap function we have one more variable called as a temp. So temp is just a normal variable. It is not a pointer variable. So temp is supposed to store the values. So for temp also memory will be allocated. Let us say the address of this is 1034. Okay. Now when line number 13 executed, then we'll have the memory mapping or memory image something like this. Now go to line number 14. In line number 14 we have star x. Star x means what? Value at address of x. So at address of x, so value at address of x, right? So in x we have the values 1010. So we'll go to the address 1010, which is this. Now value at the address 1010 is what? 10. Right. So I'll explain it again. In line 14 we have star x. Star x means value at address is stored in x. What is the address stored in x? It is 1010. So we'll go to the address 1010. In 1010, what is the value stored? It is 10. So 10 is stored where? In the variable temp. The 10 is stored in the variable temp now. Once this line is done, go to line number 15. Line number 15 is doing what? The value of star y is assigned into star x. So what do you mean by star y? Star y means value at address stored in y. What is the address stored in y? 1012. So go to 1012. And what is the value at 1012? It is 20. So we got star y means 20. And where it need to be stored? In star x. Star x means again what? Go to 1010. 1010 is this. And in that location, replace the value 10 by star y. Star y means how much? 20. So now 10 is replaced by 20 here. Now once this is done, we will go to the line number 16. Line number 16 is telling us was go to the address stored in y. Address stored in y y is 1012, go to 1012. At 1012 we'll have the value now 20. Now since the value should be replaced by the value of temp, so what is the value of temp we have? We have it is 10. So you can see by using the concept of pointer, we are directly able to manipulate the addresses. We are directly able to go to the memory level and manipulate the values stored at that memory location. Now you can see by using the concept of pointers and the concept of call by reference, we are able to swap the values of variable a and b. So you can see. So in this way, call by reference works in function of C programming language. I hope every one of you have understood the concept. If you have any queries or doubt regarding this program or how the call by reference or call by values work, please mention in the comment section. We'll try to answer your question as soon as possible. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos. Thank you very much for listening.